Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
It should be coming. Coldplay song should be playing.
Can you turn your presentations on? Switch. Where's Georgia?
Welcome to Bay First Home quarterly officers meeting. Woo! I am joined on stage with lots of folks, but to my direct left, to your right, is Felix Polito. That was the amazing voice that you just heard.
Amazing, she says. Thank you.
Felix, this is your first quarterly officers meeting.
Yeah, did you know that?
I did.
Well, let me tell you, I'm pretty excited.
Really?
I am. Aren't you excited?
That was big excitement. Welcome.
Man, everything we do is big. You hired me, all right? Let's talk about some of that growth.
All right. So today at the quarterly officers meeting, let's review the agenda. We have a pretty robust agenda today. Our welcome, I promise, is almost over.
Halfway, give or take.
And then we're going to talk about the new officers and welcome them to our session, both in person as well as virtual.
Then we have financial performance with Rob and Oliver.
We're going to have Brandy Jaber go through a Peace Team spotlight.
Followed by consumer lending with Jim.
And my favorite, intermission. We're going to have 8 with Tom Petty.
And take all that Tom Petty energy and bring that on back, because afterward we have recognition again with Diane. Just in, the intermission is just for restrooms.
And for those like Felix who didn't know, 8 minutes with Tom Petty is 2 songs. 2 songs.
I'm clear now.
Okay.
2 rehearsals, Tom Petty, got it.
And all of this will be wrapped up with the CEO remarks with Tony. All right. Now, before we get into looking at our new officers, I want to welcome to our meeting Anthony Sarvanos. Thank you for joining us today. All right. Now, a warm welcome to our newest officers. When I call your name, please stand. And for those of you joining us virtually, we will give you a round of applause big enough to reach your homes. All right. First up, Megan Brewster, part of our marketing team, public relations, and content manager.
Secondly, Kenton Ferris, AVP credit analyst. Part of Credit Bench.
And look at this guy, Felix Polito.
I know that guy. Jennifer Shelton, AVP Business Liaison Core Systems, Max Team.
Donna Vreeland, AVP Loan Operations Supervisor 2, part of our Loan Ops division.
And in our L&D team, we'd also like to welcome Brittany Petrie.
Look at that, she followed instructions. Thanks, Brittany. Lynn Wyman, AVP Associate Compliance Officer.
And Tim Klein, VP for Special Assets Officer, Chuck Ginska's team.
Joanne Natalizio, did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
VP Contact Center Manager. She's one of our newest starting this initiative. You will hear a lot more from her as the future months progress.
Melanie Isaacson, VP CRA Fair Lending Officer under Jeff Hunt.
Kevin Franzese, VP Commercial Lending Officer with Matt Lucky's World.
And we also have Bob Sanders, SVP Area Residential Sales Manager for Tampa Bay, part of Brandy's World and the growing residential presence.
All right. You know, attracting top talent is just one ingredient of being the bank of the Tampa Bay. And just thinking about these 12 newest officers makes me feel like we're doing a great job in this area. So congrats to you all. All right, we've got some promotions too. Now, when we think about promotions here, I'm not sure if you all know this, but some of these individuals, this is the first time they're hearing this announcement. So we might see a few candid reactions just as a note, all right?
So some of these people do not know that they have this promotion. They're about to find out right here today.
Tim Sensening, SBA Portfolio Relationship Specialist. Look at that grin.
Rhonda Restivo, Accounting and Finance Officer.
Emily McKelvey, AVP Loan Operations Supervisor 2.
Eric Van Gessel, AVP Credit and Loan Review Analyst. Eric joined our team during PPP and continues to be a success story of all the great talent during that initiative.
Followed by Ann Anderson, AVP Credit Analyst. Ann is another of our PPP success stories and has grown to be an integral part of the team.
Marsha Rubin, AVP Corporate Governance Officer. Communicates our releases among many other corporate responsibilities.
Jen Dougherty, VP Retail Operations. As the branch network grows, retail operations, additional focus in this area is absolutely critical.
And Troy Brenner, VP Residential Sales Manager in Maryland. Troy, congrats.
And the list goes on.
David Collins, VP Special Assets Officer under Chuck Giska's leadership.
Doreen Whistler, VP SBA Production Manager under the Credit Bench Division.
George Hamilton, VP Brand Marketing Manager.
You may
Notice the cool merchandise all around the room. Thank you, George, for the cool swag.
P.S. There is an L&D booth. I just want to say with some of that new swag. Was that too cliche? Like, can I say that?
We know we promote L&D. Yes.
Okay. Kevin Whistler, SVP, SBA Director, Portfolio Manager. Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
All right. Now we're going to turn it over to our CFO, Robin Oliver, to deliver the financial report.
I don't know if I can be as exciting as Felix and Diane here, but we do have some fun numbers to talk about for Q2, so makes my job easy. All right. So let's first start with the balance sheet, because it kind of sets the stage for everything else that went on this quarter. I know you all aren't used to seeing the slides go down instead of up, but there's a really good reason this quarter, I promise. First and foremost, PPP forgiveness is moving, okay? And those of you that have been involved in that process know that it's happening, and it is happening rapidly. So we saw a lot of PPP loans get forgiven in Q2, and on top of that, we sold $326 million of PPP loans that were originated in 2021. So all those loans that you all were involved in originating in January through March or April, they are all now in somebody else's hands, which means we don't have to deal with forgiveness in 2022. But we continue to see deposits climb. I told Matt Lucky, I guess the new goal, is like 30 million a quarter? That's sort of the norm now. You know, this retail team, the community bankers, you guys are bringing in the deposits every single quarter, and we continue to see that through the charts. And of course, the loans are down because that's really driving the assets down. But what if we take away PPP? What the heck does it look like if we take away the noise, if you will, of PPP? Well, look at that. Total assets continues to look like the chart that we know and love, up and to the right. Same with total deposits, because that doesn't really change with PPP. Now, loans did drop off in total this quarter, but it's really the transient loans held for sale. The actual SBA and conventional community bank loans continued to climb. We saw great growth in that in Q2, really seeing some momentum there. But loans held for sale that are only on the books for about 2 weeks before they're sold, that's what drove that dip there this quarter. So just a timing issue on that one. Oh, I have to hit for the bubbles apparently, huh? Okay. Now I know. All right, so with all this balance sheet moving around, what does that mean for our capital and the quality of our balance sheet? I like to look at the capital ratios, certainly something that investors and regulators and others always point to look at the health of our institution. And as you can see, we have really seen those climb up over 12% in our Tier 1 leverage ratio. That's significantly more than we need to be well capitalized, and our total capital ratio is just off the chart at almost 23%. So really, really strong capital ratios showing the health of our balance sheet and the ability that we have to grow into it as we move forward. So now the big news with earnings. I know that most of you have hopefully seen the press release. We send it out in email. It's also, if you're not getting your notifications on the over-the-counter QX market that we're on, I encourage you to sign up. But we always also send it out at the same time internally to our employees. So for anybody that didn't read it, we had one heck of a quarter here, you'll see. Over $13 million in net income just for Q2 alone. So if you look at the trends here, I would encourage you perhaps not to get used to the up and to the right as we look at Q3 and Q4. Q2 is not going to be repeatable, unfortunately. We had a one-time event in there that I'll tell you about, but if you look at Q3, Q4, and Q1 of this year, that is some really, really strong residential production as well as PPP, really driving those numbers. In Q2, again, residential community bank holding solid, but the real story is the sale of those PPP loans. So not to delve too much into the accounting there, but normally we would recognize all those processing fees we get from the SBA over the life of a loan, so you might recognize that over 2 years. Well, when we sold them, you have to recognize all of that immediately. So we had about $14 million come straight to the bottom line in Q2. So the good news is that means we got these numbers that you see and a 75% return on average common equity for the quarter, which is some kind of record. But the bad news is PPP revenue is kind of gone from here on out. So if we think about that for a minute, that means we really got to get back to business. Right? There's no more PPP, there's no more huge residential wave to ride. We got to really get back to our core business of banking supported by strong, stable residential earnings to have a strong Q3 and Q4 and beyond. So there's the good news and bad news for the earnings. And as you might imagine, those strong earnings related to outstanding earnings per share at up over $3, as well as book value climbed over $3 up to $21. Now that's after the stock split. So if you haven't looked at those numbers in a while, that might look a little strange to you, but just a reminder, we did the 3-for-2 stock split on May 10th. So for every 2 shares of stock you had, now you got 3, but there's the new prices. And just so you have a little bit of context, I wanted to show you what we've done this year compared to last year. Don't pay too much attention to a couple of numbers in here because I realize that there's a little bit of an error on the bottom line, but the 2 columns are right. We are at $20.5 million year-to-date net income so far through June of 2021, which is more than 10 times what we did through June 30 of 2020. So, holy cow, congratulations to all. Really strong net interest income that continues to grow. The provision for loan losses, we're able to kind of keep to a more manageable number at this point because we're not seeing huge credit quality declines. And then continued residential loan fee growth. if you look period over period, along with that large, almost $14 million revenue number related to the PPP sale. And then on the flip side, though, we're booking the non-interest expense. I mean, we've really bulked up our infrastructure. You all can probably see it when you look around the company, but we're doing that to really prepare us to propel ourselves forward. So all in all, strong results so far through the year, and now we just got to keep it going. So thank you all, and I'll turn it over to whoever's next. Brandy.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. So nice to see you. Put these on. Home ownership will always be a big part of the American dream. It's a symbol of personal pride and independence, the embodiment of hard work and achievement, and the promise of greater opportunities and financial stability for future generations to come. And while home ownership should be a right for all who dream and work to achieve it, for many it remains out of reach, but through no fault of their own. And so I'm pleased to stand up here and tell you this is why First Home Bank has formed a team called the Peace Team. It's made up of mortgage loan originators who really have a desire to serve the underserved. The Peace Team focuses on helping low to moderate and majority minority communities across the nation. And I know many of you have heard about the Peace Team because we've talked about it on the CEO's Corner and we've talked about it at the What's Next calls. But I think it's important to give you a little bit more insight into their achievements and this important initiative. So with that, I'm going to do this. At its core, First Home Bank is committed to improving the lives of all who live in the communities that it serves. To do so, we must focus on assisting those who face unnecessary obstacles in their journey toward achieving their dreams. When it comes to ensuring fair mortgage lending and that no one is denied home ownership based on race, as an industry, we have a long way to go. As a community bank, we are here for what's next and committed to leading the change. Hi, my name is Brandy Jaber, and I'm the president of the Residential Mortgage Division for First Home Bank, and it is my honor to introduce to you our Peace Team. Our team is made up of mortgage loan professionals with a desire to make a difference in their communities. They offer financial, educational, and additional support to those who need it most, ensuring home ownership is within reach. To support the Peace Team initiative, First Home Bank is proud to partner with the National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers of America, an organization dedicated to increasing the engagement of minorities within the mortgage industry. We are fortunate to have the CEO and founder of NAMBA, Tony Thompson, here with us today to explain why it is so critical now more than ever for initiatives like the Peace Team.
Hi, my name is Tony Thompson. I'm the founder and CEO of the National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers of America, also known as NAMBA. In my role, some of the impacts that I've seen with programs like Peace from First Home Bank are, first, the impact of helping employees to feel that their employer cares about the communities in which they live and work is extremely important, but also helps in terms of getting out the brand and furthering the mission of the organization. The advice that I would give to members of the Peace Team or anyone else that is considering a program like First Home Bank is to understand the impact that you can make to your community through outreach, through financial literacy, and most importantly, through engagement and education. I believe everyone, or the majority of people in every community, no matter where you live in America, wants to become a homeowner, and we have an opportunity through opportunities like Peace with First Home Bank to help that dream become a reality.
Thank you, Tony, for your wise words and support. Now let's take a look at how the Peace Team is already making a difference.
My name is Keith Cook. I'm with First Home Bank, and I am a mortgage loan originator with the Peace Team. One of the things I love to do is to help clients achieve their dream home and home ownership. And I am working with Desiree. She was referred from Habitat for Humanity and in search of her new home. Desiree, what does home ownership mean to you?
Homeownership means to me knowing that I have something that I can pass along to my children, and also some place that I can actually call a home. Going from different houses, renting or apartments or anything like that, it didn't feel like it was mine, so to speak, because I was always paying rent to someone else. But knowing that I have something that I'm investing in means a lot. It just felt right. My experience with working with Keith and First Home Bank is it's been a very satisfying experience. I didn't think it was this easy. He made it I felt very comfortable with him.
Thank you, Keith and Desiree. Your story serves as an important reminder on why the Peace Team was created, and there's more to come. I'm so excited to have been able to share this video with you today. Very proud of the standard that we're setting for our industry and eager to see the impact that First Home Bank makes on the community and minority home buyers for generations to come. Thank you so much for watching. Exciting, am I right? I do want to say, Tony, you were right. My head is big up on that screen. So, I'm proud to say that our Peace Team members just recently completed training that gave them a Certified Affordable Lending Originator designation with NAMBA. And fingers crossed, I have 2 more members that are going to be joining the Peace Team by the end of this month. So I want to leave you with these words from a very prestigious and well-known person, Happy Gilmore, who said, the way I see it, we've only just begun. So thank you.
All right, I passed the first test right there. No? Yep, okay. Now I don't need to be on the screen by any means. So, Brandy, that was really neat, and whenever you talk about dreams, really that's the way I've always looked at consumer lending. I've already looked at that as somebody's dream to have a new car, somebody's dream to do something, fix up their house, and we've always got to respect that whenever we're going through that. So it's my pleasure to get up here and speak about what's going on in our consumer lending division right now. Before I start, I do want to thank Tony for having the vision to have the best-in-class consumer lending department, this team up here, the marketing team, the managers, everybody that I've been throwing things at to really just allow me to do what I love. So this isn't about me, this is about everybody in this room, and hopefully we can educate and really take this to the next level here. So with that said, a couple things to talk about too. I'm going to introduce the team, talk about products, talk about our loan origination system, marketing. We've been doing all of this without marketing. Without our fabulous partners on that side, we're going to talk there. Talk about goals, how everybody in this room and online can help us. And then an exciting feature at the end, our Next Step program. With that said, here we are. You notice mine's kind of fuzzy. I don't really need a good clear picture of me. I'm the ugly one up there. But we got Errol. Errol's been holding this department together for a long time. I could not have done and built this all out with Errol. And now we've added Josh and Jared. All the branch managers know them well. They're the ones, man, they're hustling behind the scenes. They're getting everything done. So we're building out this department so we can support the branches and get everything done out there. And it's not on this, and I wasn't for sure, but we'll actually be adding a 5th person to the team here come Monday, so there'll be more announcements to come out there as we add down in the Sarasota area, a business development officer, and their job is to go out there and find us consumer loans on a daily basis and not be tied to the operational side of the branches. So a new adventure out there. Hopefully we see some great rewards from that effort right there. Alrighty, I keep getting asked, do we do loans on these? Do we do loans on this? I'll get somebody to go, hey, do we do a loan on an ATV? The slide pretty much covers it all. Do you make a loan on that? Vehicle, boat, jet ski, motorcycle, unsecured, credit builders. Oh, you want to learn more about that one? Call me. We have a way of not telling somebody no, but help them build their credit up with us and become a responsible borrower out there. Got the old Corvette. We'll even do classic cars. So if there's something out there, and if they can repay us, we're going to find a way to put it together. So yes, we do a loan for that. This is some of our product advantages, and of course I've got to put a great quote that I keep putting out there all the time from our fearless leader. So whenever I was rewriting the loan policies and procedures, he said, wait a minute, you don't need all those pages, get rid of them. I just need one page that says, we make loans. That's it. And I've held to that, and I've used that quote over and over and over again, but it is so true. Find a way to make the loan, try to find a way to make it happen. But we do have some advantages out there in the community. Our home equity loans, we're doing up to 100% loan to value, combined loan to value. We pay up to $2,500 in closing cost. We got loans and we got term loans and lines of credit out there. We can move as fast as our customers want to move with us. We're doing boat and RV loans, new and used cars up to 125%. We're competing with the credit unions of the world out there. We have found a way to do it because we're cash flow lenders and the collateral supports it, and we're able to balance that risk versus reward right there. And then as always, we're offering our customers out there, if they set up auto debit with their payment for one of our checking accounts, we're going to knock another 0.5% off. So great rewards, great things to tell our customers out there. How are we doing it all? Backbone of it, loan origination system. We picked the best-in-class loan origination system. It's a company called Meridian Link. They actually went public last week. So they're now on the stock exchange, been around for a number of years. But, and I'll talk about this next, through their abilities and what they offer and able to manage and move all this thing through, we've gone from 6 or 7 people tracking loans in different systems to now we're able to keep it into one spot. And what does that mean? Integration. Loans PQ is just crucial to all of this. And if you see all these things, these lines are truly directly connected to the system, to our core, to Synergy, to secure document portal. We can send a link out to our customers and they're able to upload their documents and send it straight into their application. DocuSign straight from the application. We're tied into a state-of-the-art loan document system through Compliance Systems, Inc. that we're able to spin up our documents beforehand, and anybody in Loan Doc will tell you, whenever we were ready to present documents, it took about an hour to produce documents. Takes me about a minute now to spin up documents. It used to take us about an hour to take a closed package and book it on the core, typing everything in. It takes us about 5 seconds now to press a button and everything's in the core and it's all right there. Then at the end of it, we're going to take all of our documents and we're going to automatically move them to our optical system, all from there. So it's just a massive reduction in time and savings. So now that we can move through and focus on what is important, talking to the customers, talking to every one of y'all, and being able to move this thing quickly. As you can see, we're even stepped up in our technology. We're hanging with a residential team right now. Look, we can do it all on our phone. Right here, you can apply. You can take a picture of your driver's license. You can upload your documents. You can check everything right then and there through your phone, through your tablet, through your computer. However you want to be met, we can meet you. And the great part about this is whenever you apply, we get an alert. And if everything's there, we can have you approved within minutes. And then we're asking for you to send us certain documents that we need to get this done. We've moved home equity lines of credit from weeks and weeks to we can get one done in about 5 or 6 days now. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, when Tony got here, he said, you know how long it takes us to do a CD secured loan? I said, oh, about an hour. And he goes, no, it's taking us a couple of weeks on one of them. So marketing is here next, which we're excited about. And so what we wanted to establish, and Matt Lucky really wanted me to establish, is this rolling plan. So we know something is always constantly going on. We don't let something slip through the cracks. And so we've developed this plan that will have tweaks and twists throughout the year. But as you can see, we've got up here, and we look at January, unsecured loans. Hey, we just spent all this money on credit cards. How can we lower their rate? To home improvement, to purchases. So all throughout the year, you're going to be constantly seeing something, whether it's social media, whether it's mailers, postcards, working with the marketing team, whatever rates are going on, we're going to try to find more and more ways to entice our local market and see us, know about us, and want to come do business here with us. So some great offerings that are going to be coming up off of this. What do I need from y'all? And I really wanted to put an Austin Powers meme in here, you know, the $1 billion thing right here, but I didn't. I backed off it here. But this is a goal we're shooting for per branch. This is what we're looking. Without the branches, without the tellers, without the universal bankers, without the branch managers that are our frontline forces that are meeting with our customers every day, this won't happen. We can do all the marketing, we can do all this stuff, but my goodness, we need them, and they really are the backbone of this, and we could not do this without this team out there right now. But they need your help. Marketing, all these things that are going to be coming in, but you know what gets business here? Word of mouth. Our commercial lenders, everybody sitting up at this table, everybody out here, myself, word of mouth asking for the business is what's going to get this to this goal. I mean, personally, I'd love it if once we start hitting, each month I can tell this team up here, yeah, we just put another $6 million in loans on the books for the bank right here, which is then it's just going to help grow, and we're able to help the community more and more. And some of our recent marketing, so this one's going to be hitting the streets here real soon. This is kind of a design of, hey, we're going to do within Kevin, if I say this right, a 5-minute drive of branches. We're trying to bring them around that area, but this is kind of a recapture campaign where we're working with a marketing firm that will look at existing credit reports out there, see what's out there. Hey, we can beat your rate. This is what's going on. It might select it down saying we can make a better auto rate. We can make a better home equity. So here's step one that is going out the door of marketing to start driving business in. Step two, this is a little one that is effective as of now. This will be going out on digital media, but man, the stress of all these parents right now that are putting their kids back in school, new laptops, new computers, new all those things. We sit in these rooms and it might not cross your mind, but there's a lot of families out there right now that are stressed out about this. So we're going to put a special out there right now of a rate as low as 6.49 up to $3,000 over 18 months. We're going to do them an unsecured loan. That's a quick little way that we can put back to this community that we're here to help. Here's a copy of one of our pop-up banners, thanks to marketing, that you'll be seeing around at events, something that is easy to pull up. The cool part of this is basically it says, we do loans. We do loans quickly, and we do. We will make quick loan decisions. Best part about it is the QR code at the bottom. I love it. If you do your phone on it, it's going to launch them straight into our app, not through our website, not anything. It's going to immediately take it back to that landing page I showed you all a little while ago, and they can start their application process right then and there. And if that's not exciting enough, all of y'all are sitting around here going, well, what's in it for me? Yep. So not to be outdone by residential, we have the Next Step program. Next Step program is going to offer some benefits for those being an employee of the bank. This goes to all employees of the bank. Luckily for my system, I'm able to go into other states. I'm able to spin up documents for other states. We're going to be able to help anybody right there. So always, these are kind of an always thing. You're going to get a 1% under our current published rates for doing a loan with us. We're going to take care of your fees that you might have associated with refinancing your vehicle or filing your vehicle outside of taxes. We'll help with, like in the state of Florida, we got that good old doc stamp fee. We'll pay those for you right there. And then we're going to give you even a bigger bump on the home equity side. We'll pay up to $3,000 in closing costs for your home equity. But to show I want your business more, to show everybody in this room how well we can do it, and thanks to Tony, because he's going to cover all my losses on this for the amount of money I'm not making on interest, just so you know. He said he's got it. We're going to do 1.99% up to 72 months on your vehicle purchase or refinance. This is my way of showing you we can do this. So if this is effective now, you can get on, you can apply. We're going to run through these. Hopefully I get so inundated I have to go, oh, wait a minute, give me an extra couple of days because we're just trying to catch up. So thank y'all so much. Please take advantage of this, because if you don't take advantage of this, then you don't know how to sell this to customers. You don't know how to tell them how great it is. I want y'all to see the process that is going on through here. So With that said, what y'all have all been waiting for is 8 minutes with Tom Petty. It is intermission time, but what Dad just said, get to the bathroom and get back. Thank y'all.
Well, that was a quick 8 minutes.
So I am now cultured by 8 minutes on who Tom Petty is. I think we can all resume our meeting. Go ahead and find a seat. We'll get on to some very, very exciting recognition awards. You guys excited for that? I don't think so. I think they're still on break. So either we do another 8 minutes, and this time you hear me sing Tom Petty, or we actually get excited. You guys excited for recognition awards? I am so glad for you and me. I do not know those words. Very good.
That was really big.
Yes, I'm good there.
I have had to give him some, genre coaching. Anyway.
No shortage of references.
All right, we're back. So I always love this part of our role here at First Home Bank. Not only do I get to work with some of the absolute greatest teammates of the entire planet. You guys love Felix? Yeah?
Checks in the mail.
I also get to help to announce some of the recognitions. And this year, we're going to not only recognize our Pinnacle Awards, but we're also going to recognize our Home Run Awards for those folks that have more than 5 years of service. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Home Run Awards first. And these folks are all joining us virtually. So we need to give them an absolute giant round of applause to reach them at home. So first up, Krista Bigness, Residential Mortgage. All right, second, we have Bo Cooksey, Credit Administration. Woohoo! And Sharon Holt, part of our community banking and our St. Petersburg branch. All right, thank you for everybody for all of your years of service. And now, wait, you'd probably be better at saying this.
And now, the part that you've been waiting for, the Pinnacle Awards.
As a quick recap of Pinnacle, and for those of you that are newer to our officers' meetings, these individuals have been nominated by their peers, as well as potentially supervisors, business partners, because their specific actions, attitudes, and daily commitments have displayed really the First Home Bank commitment to excellence and service. So as leadership reads the nominations each quarter, they truly do look for specific examples, hint, hint, for those that you want to write them next time, very specific examples, that weave a picture of the true fabric of our Pinnacle Award winners. So the winners today will join Pinnacle Award winners from the past quarters that wear their lapel pin with honor, and each winner today will receive a $1,000 check. And I believe I have my team members helping with the checks and with the trophies and all that kind of the lapel winners as our token of our appreciation. So we did receive 18 nominations this quarter, and there were 4 winners selected. Okay, remember that all nominees do receive gift cards for recognition, and just want to make sure that we know the 2 winners that are present today will walk on up, and the second 2 winners will announce they are with us from afar. Okay, just want to go ahead and make sure that we know this. So first up, Tim Sensening. development into becoming additional successful members. So wonderful job, Tim. Nice. All right, next up, Amber Ventura. And I'm going to read a list of adjectives that were written in all the nominations to describe Amber's dedication and commitment to her role in her team. So first we have outstanding, focused, dedicated, tireless cheerleader, champion of change, kind, champ, critical, calm, steady, humble, and I can tell you that was all I had time to type. Wow. So what really stood out was really her dedication during the transition from PPP world to 7A lending. She had tight deadlines, she had training of new team members to accomplish, and truly just showed up with the right attitude every single day. So congratulations. All right. Our next two winners are with us virtually, so after I read their names and kind of a description, please let's go ahead and share with them a really nice warm welcome so they can hear it from their homes. Emmy Wilson of the Residential Mortgage Division, she actually received 3 nominations this quarter, and the words epitome of big picture colleague was really what stood out from the nominations. Emmy works and works and works and works and works. That was 4, right? She completes not only her large assigned loan volume, but also really helps out her teammates that happen to be on PTO or on vacation or just out of the office. She assists with positivity and guidance wherever needed and simply gets the work done. Emmy is a valuable part of the underwriting team, and the LOSs and processors would actually request her if they were permitted to. So huge esteem and recognition for her. So her efforts go without hesitation, and in a few words, Emmy simply rocks. All right, her check's in the mail, right? Next up, we have Mary Jones of another of our residential mortgage area, and she's out of our Jacksonville, Florida area, okay? Now, a few words about Mary's service that placed her as a Pinnacle Award winner. Mary played a major role in clearing a file when there was major third-party delays that would have potentially impeded the closing of the loan. She updates Encompass, the lock desk, title, anytime changes are made to sales contracts before she's asked. Huge, right? And Mary is noted as one of the best processors and is an absolute pleasure to work with and always goes the extra mile. So let's extend a well-deserved sentiment to Mary as she joins us again from her home. Oh. All right. I was a little remiss on the clicker, sorry. So congratulations to all of our Pinnacle Award winners. And now it's time to turn over to our CEO, Tony Leo.
Welcome, Tony.
All right. The only thing better than officers' meeting is one with drinks again. We're back. What can I say? All right. Well, you know, this is getting almost redundant, but I love saying it. Another record quarter, but, you know, 75% return on equity. I don't know what else we could possibly say. I could probably stop right there. Thank you all. An amazing job. But it doesn't stop there. This is the leading banks, according to Hovde Group, one of the financial investment banking firms that rank banks' performance in Florida, ranked by return on equity #1 in the state at 48.59%. Another amazing job. And what's more, all of us as shareholders in BayFirst Our return on equity year to date is actually around 63%. An amazing, amazing job leading the state. I think it's just worth one more round. Unbelievable. Number one in Florida. Guys, what else can we say? I don't know, what else can we say here? Let's see. What's up next? Oh, you know, I got to take a step back here because, you know, I'm going to put myself back, you know, at the end of 2019, beginning of 2021. We were sitting as a, you know, $500 million plus bank. And, you know, we had some weaknesses in the bank, $142 million in unguaranteed SBA loans, which places some risk. Our common equity position, in other words, the ownership in the bank, about $43 million, and a loan loss reserve of $10 million. That's not bad. We had done $760 million in residential, pretty darn good, and had earned $4.5 million. Pretty good. You know, overall, it was a pretty good year. And, you know, then what happens? You know, okay. So, you know, what happens is we start off the year with a couple events that really set the stage. First, we converted to Microsoft Teams, you know, to Office 365 with Teams, which didn't seem like as big of an event at the time as it turned out to be. Then in February, we had a core system conversion. I think everybody's well aware of that. And then in March, what happens in March? Obviously, the pandemic is declared. The world starts shutting down. The secondary markets for residential and SBA shut down. What businesses are we in large measure, residential and SBA? I mean, you know, so put yourself back in March of 2020, and, you know, it's a little bit of a trying time. And I'm thinking, you know, we got to work our way through this, and you know, where are we going to come out? Because obviously, there's panic in the markets. There's you know, all of this going on, uncertainty that doesn't really occur. I mean, it's of a different nature than would occur in most recessions. Secondary market shut down. You know, this is the picture in March of 2020. You know, oh, and you put this in. So, you know, what happens? We end up recording a net loss. Why do we have a net loss for the quarter? Well, the residential market shut down, the SBA market shut down. Since we knew we were going to have inability to sell loans, part of our core business, we went ahead and took some of the losses that were kind of embedded, some of the expenses embedded, including the conversion, and ultimately, you know, didn't start the year off too great. But, you know, again, we were in the midst of a pandemic when everything was about making sure we preserved the franchise, making sure that we were set up for growth in the future. So, you know, then what? Okay, then, you know, we look and we say, okay, everybody else is shutting down here. Where are we? Well, we had complete proliferation of laptops across the company. I mean, everyone had a laptop. I look at other companies, they didn't, you know, laptops are too expensive. I don't get that. You know, laptops are too expensive so that you can work anytime, any place. I mean, doesn't make sense. So we had laptops all over the place. We had just converted to Office 365, which brought with it Microsoft Teams. We did a seamless transition to remote work. Okay, that sounded pretty good. We're still in business. And then we look and we say, hold on a second, we've got one of the top SBA divisions in CreditBench in the nation. And what happens to bail out the economy and small businesses that are struggling at this time? Congress enacts the PPP. Guess who jumps in the PPP, you know? Who turns out to be the #1 lender in the nation by size relative to PPP loans done? Not by a little bit, but by a mile. The CreditBench division and First Home Bank lead the nation in PPP loans. All right. So, you know, Congress steps in and provides capital to struggling businesses. We jump in, work 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, do our social responsibility, which was very important for us to do, help to save the economy from a spiral, at the same time booking loans that are making us interested and ultimately resulting in the type of income that Robin showed. The Fed jumps in and says, you know, we need to lower interest rates. Lowering interest rates causes the ability for people to refi mortgages. Guess who's set up for residential mortgages? Who jumps in, and all of a sudden, our mortgage volume goes to $1.92 billion last year, and we end up as one of the most profitable banks, not in the state, but in the country for the year. So, in hindsight, we look like geniuses to the marketplace, and that's the truth. I hear this every day from investors. My God, you guys pulled this off. How did you get through and come out not only at risk, but across the board, at the top of every level? And the reality is, there's nobody in the room that's a genius. But what we did was we set ourselves up to take advantage of changing economic conditions, to take advantage of opportunities as they arise. We put together the hardest working team I have ever had the pleasure to work with, and we executed, performed, and ended up as the top performing bank in the state. And I thank everybody for it. And what can we say? Where did we end up? $20 million in net income in 6 months this year. It's because of your work and the setup, the organization we have. Thank you all for an amazing job and where we ended up now. I've got another half an hour in case you didn't check the, and I know I'm standing between us and the bar, and yeah. Okay, so we'll keep moving through this. It's okay. We're going to keep moving through this. I want to talk a little bit around the bank as I normally do, starting with CRA and Fair Lending. You heard earlier today when we were announcing new officers, Melanie joining us as our CRA and Fair Lending officer. I think you're going to see a real emphasis here over the coming months and years to make us an exemplary organization in fair lending. And I want to talk about what that means for just a moment. First of all, we had already been a leader in the business in business lending to minorities and to other underprivileged, underserved communities. We started a minority-owned business lending program say October of last year, with a goal of lending $50 million over 2 years to minority-owned businesses. We will hit that goal this quarter and set an even more auspicious goal as we lend money to underserved businesses throughout our communities. At the same time, we began to look at how we could leverage the knowledge, the skill set, the cultural understanding that we were developing over to the residential side. Brandy talked in her segment about NAMBA, the National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers. We had already begun to develop an association with them so that we could proliferate that emphasis over to residential lending. Now I think you saw it in action right now. We have the Peace Team, which is promoting equitable access to credit. And that's not just for minorities, it's also for those in low and mod census tracts in our CRA assessment area, and for majority minority areas throughout the nation as we serve. So, I think you've heard at previous meetings the emphasis we have as a progressive organization to serve the entire community. We serve the broad community, rich and poor, black and white, urban and rural. We are there for the broad community. What we're doing is putting the plans in place, but what you'll see, I think where we really needed better management and structure around it was we were doing these things, but it wasn't organized in a way that can be developed to be able to manage the processes, be able to ensure we're complying with the various regulations, and to be able to tout the things that we're doing. Enter Melanie, and that's where you will see us become a leader across the board in both CRA and fair lending. But it doesn't end there, and this is one of Melanie's primary undertakings, is to organize all of the activities that we are doing as an organization. And I look across the company and I see so many things that we are all involved with that have an impact both in our broader community and with regard to reinvestment in the community under the CRA specifically. So I encourage everyone to take part. I'm sure that going forward, all of our efforts will be coordinated, and if there are areas where where we can use additional help, we'll be reaching out. So, you're going to see this as an emphasis over the coming months and coming years to bring together all of the things we are already doing as a progressive organization and put it under an umbrella. Let's move on. I want to take a step back, as I so often do, and before we kind of see what's next, and talk a little bit about the culture of our company. And some of what you're going to hear in the next 3 to 5 minutes is maybe redundant for those who have been here for a number of years, and for so many we heard today that are new to the organization. I think it's worth talking about what makes our organization in terms of the values, how we are, and more importantly, how we aspire to be. So, I want to start with, and this is big and bold. I hope it's big and bold on the screen, because I picked the boldest picture I could possibly find, and it says "Speak Up." And below it, see something, say something. And, when I talk about see something, say something, obviously, if there are things that you see that you think are unethical, illegal, which we may or may not really, anything along those lines, obviously bring it to our attention. In most cases, from what I've seen, those are inadvertently done because of a lack of understanding, a lack of knowledge. You've come from another organization, you say, hey, I'm not sure this is the right way to do things. There's regulations here that you may not be aware of. There are ethical rules. Maybe something is going on. Speak up. Don't be hesitant. But it goes much, much further than that. I think I mentioned at a previous officers meeting that I had a CEO I worked for very early in my career who asked me a question, and I was young and in the corporate counsel's office. I just graduated law school. I was in the corporate counsel's office, and he asked me a question. And you're trained not to, as a young lawyer, you're trained not to answer business judgment questions, because it can blow the attorney-client privilege that you have in the legal department. So he asked me this question, which is clearly a business judgment, and I was the CEO of the company, a pretty big company. He says, asked me a question, and I said, I'm sorry, I really can't answer that. That's it's a business judgment question, and I'm in the legal department. And he looked at me, and I realized I had said something wrong. At 27 years old, I think I learned more than I needed to learn that particular day. He said, Tony, I didn't hire one part of your brain. I hired your entire brain. Don't ever give me that kind of what. So, I learned at that time, and that stuck with me. We hired your entire brain, which means whatever you've seen, whatever you see, don't hesitate to speak up. If you think we're doing something dumb, tell us, run it up the flagpole. No matter what you see, if you think it doesn't make sense, there might be a reasonable explanation. There might be a very reasonable explanation why something seems on the surface not to make sense. There might be a reason. But you know what? It might just be because we're doing something dumb, So bring it to attention. If you see things that you think are serious in any way, run it up the flagpole. If you don't get satisfaction, you talk to HR, you talk to any person sitting at this table, and most importantly, you talk to me any time of the day or night. My cell phone number is on my email signature everywhere. You can text me, call me anytime. Never let a situation get where you think, man, I don't know what these guys are doing. This doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it is something unethical that you see. As I say, most of the time, that's probably not intentional. Maybe it's something that just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's a risk that give a chance to explain. Maybe we'll say, hey, sit down and give a reasonable explanation. You get a reasonable explanation, you say, okay, I think that makes sense. If none of that works, on the intranet is the information for a third party that you can work through, provide information. about anything at all. If none of that works, you can reach out to Barb Zaparian, who is the chair of our audit committee, at any time. This has to be an organization where you feel comfortable speaking up. But you know what? My guess is you never get to those other levels, because if we're all acting right, you know, you say something to your supervisor, they're like, wow, I'm not sure. Let me talk to Robin. Let me talk to Lewis, you know, whoever the appropriate person is for that. And I didn't think about it. You know, I mean, we're moving quickly. We're doing a lot of things very quickly. We don't get everything right. And the only way to move quickly is to have everybody involved, everybody thinking. And it doesn't matter if it's in your sphere of influence, if it's in your job responsibility. If you remember from your last organization, you know, that was a problem, bring it up. We hired your whole brain. Never forget that. We hired all of your experience. Feel free to speak up. Feel free to speak your mind on anything at any time. And if you get any pushback, you talk to me, please. That's the heart of the company we want to have. And as I say, you know, some of this is aspirational, but I'm hoping that we can all embody it. You know, I want to talk about, well, you know, this is what I already did talk about. I guess I should have pushed that ahead. Who do I say something? Forget it. Let me just move on. Okay. I want to talk about one other cultural element, which is, you know, before I just tell you about yesterday. So yesterday the IT department had a get-together where it was kind of an informational session with each of the various areas in the bank. Kind of came in and came out, and you know the entire staff from IT was here. Many of them are remote. They were all here, and various people from other areas of the bank came in, had kind of, here's what we do, here's how can IT help you, all this kind of thing. And it was just this fantastic session, and it was done in the collaboration room, which we're actually giving a branded name to soon, the Training and Collaboration Center in 102, which is almost done. You know, a very modern look, a very progressive approach with a kind of a collaboration feel. And I looked around, you know, first of all, it was a fascinating day for me, just hearing each department talk. And I made a point to stay almost the entire day in the room. But when I looked around, what I saw was several African Americans, several folks of Indian descent, Asian, you know, I saw a company that looked like the 21st century, that looked like America, sitting around in a collaboration room, collaborative, and I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. This is exactly what we're trying to build. You know, that warmed my heart probably better than anything I had seen and really made my day. But, you know, what we have seen as we work to build a diverse workplace is, you know, tolerance is one of these things I think we all, you know, ascribe to. We all believe it, but we don't necessarily always understand how, you know, things we say and things we you know, how we act can affect others. And, you know, as officers of the company, it is all of our responsibility to always be thinking about this with regard to our staff. You know, we have seen firsthand incidences where staff have made comments which are, you know, just inappropriate and insensitive. You know, it's all of our responsibilities to take advantage of that opportunity to, you know, talk about it. Because, you know, I don't want to ever have the kind of, you know, let's have sensitivity training. We all sit there and, you know, it's probably necessary at times. But better yet, I think it's just important that we all, as officers, look at our staff, look at our team, be sensitive to these types of things, because we are trying to build a diverse workforce, and a workforce where everyone feels comfortable. Again, it doesn't matter to me, young or old. And I'm in the latter group. I know I can see there is a little bit of prejudice here, by the way. I've noticed against the older people, but it's okay. We're surviving on our own. Now, young or old, rich or poor, urban or rural, you know, liberal or conservative, it doesn't matter. Your viewpoints are welcome here. Your point of view, your perspective is welcome in our organization. That's how we approach our customers. That's how we approach our employees. We look for diversity, not only in our organization, but in our points of view. But let me say one last thing in that regard, and I appreciate this. Every point of view is welcome here. However, if any of your team harbors any feelings that are racist, sexist, homophobic, or xenophobic, those can be dropped at the doorstep because they have no place in First Home Bank, and we are there to make sure that happens. All right, now what's next? Of course. Hey, I still got 15 minutes. It's okay. It's okay. But I'll move quickly, I'm sure. Jeez. Jeez, Louise. Megan, you heard Megan being announced, Megan Brewster. You're going to see a real change in our organization. It's already happening about really putting us out there in the media, and Megan is already making an impact. I don't know how in the world do we use Pinellas Park. Sorry, Marielle. It's a beautiful picture there, Marielle. Boy, you're doing well with that facility. But, this is the kind of thing. Hold on. So Brandy, in hers, Brandy had Pinellas Park. He said, could you put the more modern building? And she switched it over to Tampa. But you're doing a great job, Marielle, even with the facility. It predated us, for God's sake. But, look at this. Getting us out there on our minority-owned business lending program, this is the type of thing you're going to see more and more of. The What's Next tour. You've heard about this on our What's Next meetings. The first one was at RJ Stadium. I mean, seeing our, on the scoreboard, our logo, and, just a beautiful job the marketing department did there around the mezzanine, seeing, here for What's Next. I think it's October 15th. I'm not sure. Right. So middle of October, we will be at Rowdy's game, sponsoring Rowdy's game with a What's Next event. 2 coming up in Sarasota. More and more building awareness of our organization across the communities we serve. I don't know what else to say about this one. You heard about consumer lending. Jim did an amazing job. What he brings to the table, what the whole team brings to the table in terms of rounding out our organization. We've had a first-in-class residential lending division. We've got a first-in-class SBA operation, an expanding conventional commercial loan business. The piece we were missing was consumer lending. I encourage everybody to take advantage of it. One, because it's a great benefit, but also just so that we can test systems, see how things work, get feedback, all the reasons why we ask everyone to be a customer of the bank. But we're looking at consumer lending in 2 ways. One is for all the reasons Jim talked about. Want to have a consumer lending function that is really second to none, and that's what we're building. And obviously, that's going to build loans on the balance sheet, which is the business we do. As Jim quoted me, we make loans. That is our business. But not only that, what it does is it introduces us to new families, to, even through businesses, meeting, the business owner or employees. It introduces the bank for checking accounts, for other commercial loans, on and on. So, we look at it as another brick in the wall as we build out being able to serve the entire community. And I congratulate Jim and the team for building really a first-in-class consumer lending division. Residential lending, I want to take a step here. Brandy talked about a number of things today with regard to the Peace Team and how important it is to our overall plan. And when I looked at, what our goals were, our corporate goals, and specifically with regard to the residential division, we have this amazing operation throughout the nation, which is effective, serve customers well, great operation, profitable to our organization, adds additional services, but a limited team relative to the size of our bank here in Tampa Bay. We've got Jason Mishkel and Diane Schwartz and Krista Bigness and a variety of people around. But relative to our overall organization, relative to the residential division, kind of light here in Tampa Bay, which was something of a mismatch. You heard today us announce Bob Sanders, who is here with us today, joining. Just a tremendous achievement for Brandy and the entire residential team, bringing over a top-notch market leader, as well as the team that he will bring that will really put us on the map here in Tampa Bay. And you see all these pieces building up. You talk about the media relations, talking about consumer lending, each piece of it, each brick in the wall to build out our organization to be the top-notch type of company that we aspire to be. We talked about the Peace Team. What else can I say? This is really, the type of thing that furthers the social responsibility that is at the heart of our organization. We are a progressive organization dedicated to serving the entire community. We talk about this at every officers meeting. Our minority-owned business lending program has made a huge impact in our communities. Our Peace Team continuing that on the residential side. We're here to serve the entire community. If I don't say that enough, I'll say it again and again. We serve everyone, rich and poor, black and white, young and old. We are there to serve the entire community. One of the ways we're doing it is through growth in the banking centers. We've been under construction, which is a relatively slow process in today's world, but you can see there Sarasota pictured, which is finally moving through the process. Tom Qualley reminded me today that it's actually been 2 years since we signed on the land, but Sarasota is not a quick place to move. Bel Air moving much more quickly. We also have Carrollwood and West Bradenton in the plans to build out a retail banking network that, again, is another piece of the entire puzzle. Last officers meeting, you heard Mac talk about technology, a key piece. Are we a tech bank? Are we a traditional community bank with retail branches, or are we both? We meet the customer on their terms. If you're like me and you want to do everything on your phone, even though my glass is broken, if you want to do everything on your phone, we're there to do everything on your phone. If you want to come in and meet with a commercial loan officer, a branch, a universal banker in a branch, we're there to meet you on your terms. That is part of serving the entire community. And then, of course, just a quick update. We still remain in the process, well on track for the registration of our shares at BayFirst with the SEC. We will be listing the shares on NASDAQ soon after. All of this is on pace. I said late August, maybe early September, the registration, NASDAQ to follow very soon thereafter. And, another piece of the puzzle. All of this together, what does it mean? We have a top-notch residential division. We have a top-notch SBA lending operation and credit bench. We have a growing, superb conventional commercial line of business. We've got a top-notch consumer lending. We've got the Peace Team and the minority-owned business lending program. We have a retail staff that is growing, as you heard from Rob, growing deposits across our organization. We are listing our shares on NASDAQ, building each piece in the wall. And through all of that, with all of that going on, we are the top performing bank in the state of Florida, and that is the work of everyone in this room. I thank you so much. What else can I say? But we are undeniably the Bank of Tampa Bay. Thanks for joining, and time for a drink.